when I sneeze, I'll try to sneeze more friendly.
Hello, I'm John Malos, and welcome to this live edition of the Connect With Me program here on Me TV Fresno today on Comcast, channel 187 and 43.6. Today we'll be talking a little bit about the devastation in Oklahoma City. It's unimaginable, unspeakable devastation, which brings us to our topic, insurance. We'll have a person in here from Allstate Insurance. 436 Me TV is the number. Back in a moment. Of course, today is the focus on business here on Connect With Me, but who could go by this day without speaking about the devastation that took place yesterday, that tornado that hit in Oklahoma? And I've got to say, before we get to the videotape, I have to just say this, and that is, you know, we oftentimes complain about the most frivolous things, things that mean nothing to anybody in the long term of things. I mean, why are we complaining? Look what happened in Oklahoma. Life is so short, it's so fragile, in fact, that it could be gone just like that. And we put so much emphasis on material things. How many houses do we have? How many boats do we have? How many cars do we have? How many whatever, you know, how many motorcycles do we ride? We put so much emphasis on that, and when we're gone, all of those things mean absolutely nothing. Let's go to the videotape and look at that devastation one more time. We've all seen it from yesterday. This is from the Associated Press. Of course, the tornado just ripping through there. 2 miles wide that tornado was. It ripped through there. It lasted about 40 to 45 minutes. Neighborhoods, entire neighborhoods were wiped out. You had 2 elementary schools that were completely destroyed, I should say. The New York Times reporting today that dozens were killed, but yesterday they said that 51 were dead according to the medical examiner. 40 more were on the way, but now the medical examiner has really changed that. They've actually corrected that. They don't know how many are dead right now. We have 24 that are confirmed dead. 9 of those were children. Yesterday we had the report that 20 children had been killed. That is along Interstate 35 right there. And let that video go, because they're going to pan over and you're going to see one entire neighborhood just completely gone. The tornado just ripped through there. There it is right there. And we're going to be talking about the tornado that hit Oklahoma, because we're going to be talking about insurance. Live in our studio right now is Julie Garabo. She is from the Bob Warner Allstate Insurance Company here in the city of Clovis. We'll be talking about insurance. We'll be talking about that devastating, of course, occurrence in Oklahoma yesterday, just outside Oklahoma City. The telephone number here is 436 Me TV. If you have any insurance questions, you know, in California, we don't get tornadoes, but we have other events that happen. You know, we get earthquakes. We oftentimes get floods. You never know when a flood is going to happen. We get flood damage. So any questions about insurance, 436 Me TV is the telephone number. We're back with our guest, Julie Garabo, in just a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean Dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back with our program. Like I said in the monologue, we complain about the most frivolous things. I get I get in that mood sometimes where I complain about my kids. Why aren't you listening? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Why are things going bad? But you know what? Look at that devastation in Oklahoma City, and you ask yourself, look in the mirror, do you have anything to complain about? Is it a matter of life and death? All those things that you complain about day in and day out. The answer is probably no. 436-ME-TV is the telephone number, 436-ME-TV. Julie Garabo is our guest. Hi, Julie. How are you?
Hi, John. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. So you represent Bob Warner.
Yes, I do.
The Allstate Company in
Yes, I
Clovis.
do.
Been there a long, long time.
Yes, Bob has.
Let's comment a little bit about the devastation in Oklahoma City. I know we don't get tornadoes here, but we have floods, we have
Yes,
earthquakes.
Yes, fires.
Fires, we have plenty
big deal
of
here, yes.
big time in terms
Yes.
of California is big on
Right.
fires. So, I mean, what does a company like Allstate do? I'm sure Allstate obviously insured many of those homes there in Oklahoma.
I'm sure they did.
What does a company like Allstate do in that situation?
We have response teams already out into the Oklahoma area to help people to get started, give them checks to get some basic necessities, some clothes, toothpaste, food, to get them and into some additional living quarters, whether it's a hotel, whether it's an apartment someplace else. They give those checks. They start off with some money right up front to say, hey, here, let's take care of some business, and then we'll worry about your home once you get some things together. So they do have response teams already out there, like big motorhome kind of things in different areas, so that people can physically walk up and talk to a claims person.
So they
get
can
it
actually
started.
cut the check right there.
They can cut a check right there, yes.
Okay, we do have a quick phone call here. Let's take it. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Good morning. I have an insurance question.
Sure, go.
I'm
Fire
a
away. That's why we're here. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm a renter, and the very first time that I moved into the apartment, I made sure that I got renter's insurance, because I would sometimes see the news when there was a fire at some apartment complex, and I would see the residents outside crying with just a blanket over, their backs, and not knowing what they were going to do. So I thought, well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get insurance. But the one thing that I want to know is, are we able to get insurance in case of an earthquake, which I hope to God never happens?
Yes, there is earthquake insurance. It is for a renter. It would just be to cover your personal property. And yes, it is written through the California Earthquake Authority. Most insurance offices offer some kind of earthquake policy, whether it's directly through the Earthquake Authority or not. But if you have renter's insurance, you should contact your agent and find out what it would cover for you for your needs. And yes, absolutely, you can get the earthquake coverage.
Yeah. Now, who sets the rates on those? Does the insurance company or who?
It's typically done by the California Earthquake Authority. There's a company that most of the insurance companies kind of partner through or broker with. We're like servicing agents for the California Earthquake Authority.
So if you go through Farmers or Allstate or any other company, it's going to be the same. For the most part.
For the most part. They're set
Yeah.
numbers. It's not like you could say, I want $22,500 worth of coverage. It's usually, in increments of 10, 15, 25,000 for your personal property.
Yeah, because you never know about an earthquake in
Right,
California.
right.
You just never, ever,
Right.
ever know.
Fortunately, the Fresno Clovis area is not a the rates are low because it's not a high earthquake area. However, you
But
get to
we're not
Coalinga,
immune to it.
right? We're absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I woke up one night not long ago. When was it? Last year? I felt the house shaking. Remember that?
Yes,
I don't know
do
if you
remember.
felt that.
Yes.
It was late at night. It was like around midnight or
Right.
so. I do want to talk a little bit more about Oklahoma just for a minute before
Sure.
we get to some graphics here. And so they go through, they can cut some checks. What else can Allstate do to help some of those people, or any other insurance company going through in that kind of a situation, which is just, it's just unimaginable to us,
Right,
most of us.
Right. I don't know all the specifics because we don't have it out. We really
Yeah,
haven't
we
had
don't
a
have it
major
here.
catastrophe,
Yeah.
thank goodness, out in this area where I've been involved in something like that. I do know that they work, I'm sure, with Red Cross and other providers of shelters to help people to get someplace to sleep at night.
Does
to get
Allstate help them cut through the red tape? Because there is a lot of red tape a lot of times.
as far as getting the
Getting
stuff done? Well, Allstate's involved all the way through a process from the debris removal of the home all the way to the very end of rebuilding the home.
Yeah.
So whatever, permits, all of those things. Allstate is involved with all of those. They have to get them for their contractors in order to build the homes.
Yeah. Another phone call here, Julie.
Sure.
Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Yes, good morning, John. To Julie, I believe her name is?
Yes.
Julie Garabo.
Okay, good. That's a good name.
That's a great name, isn't it? I love that name.
Thank you.
Listen, 2 heavy-duty questions.
Okay.
Whoops.
Why would anyone want to build again if they already had a tornado? This is a psychology question. If you can handle this one, I have no idea. But why would they want to build again if they had one in the 90s, that same area?
Right.
I was told. Now, this is what I hear on the news. Second question, would they insure a house a second time?
Oh, that's a good question.
If it was destroyed?
Yes. To answer your first question, personally, I don't know if I would rebuild right in that area again. However, people own the property, the land. So it's not like you could say, you know what, I just want to take my house and I want to move it over here. The home policies are built on are meant to be a replacement cost. So they're going to replace what you had at the location that you have, because you still probably have a loan on the house that was just destroyed. So your property is included in that. And I think that that's why people stay there. They have their livelihood is there, their jobs, their schools, their families are all there. And so to say you can just pick up and move and go someplace else is probably easier said than done. Now, does it make sense to rebuild in the same area that you might know is going to get done again? I don't know. The people in Malibu tend to rebuild up on the rocks, up on the cliffs there when they have the mudslides. So that's really a question.
And the second part of that would be, does Allstate, will they insure a second time around?
Absolutely. Okay. These are considered catastrophe claims. You didn't have a fire in your house and then somebody stole all your stuff and you had 3 claims and the insurance company says, we're going to drop you. These are considered catastrophe claims. And catastrophe claims are viewed differently. Yeah.
All right, we're talking with Julie Garabo here from Bob Warner Allstate Insurance Company in Clovis. He's been around since 1975. Was I still in high school then? No, I can't remember. Anyway, we're back with your phone calls. 436-ME-TV in just a moment.
Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. High hopes, he's got high apple pie in the sky. Hope nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning.
All right, we're back here with our show, Connect with Me, and we're talking about that devastating tornado that took place, of course, in Moore, Oklahoma, just outside of Oklahoma City, of course, yesterday, killing so many, dozens. We don't know exactly how many people have been killed, how many children they wiped out. Oh my gosh, 2 elementary schools are just absolutely gone. Neighborhoods completely wiped out. Talking with Julie Garabo here from the Bob Warner Allstate Insurance Company. In your phone calls, 436-ME-TV. I want to get away from the topic of tornadoes just for a moment. Of course, we have all sorts of other tragedies here in the state of California. We have earthquakes, we have fires, we have floods oftentimes. We'll never forget those 2 devastating earthquakes that took place in Southern California. And what about the 1989 quake in San Francisco? But I want to talk about one other topic that is top of mind when it comes to driving. How about those people who are not insured? Julie, that is a major problem in this state, is it not?
Yes, it is a major problem in this state. There's, I believe it's about 16%.
We'll put up the graphic right now.
That are driving uninsured.
There it is right there.
Yes.
1 in 7 drivers out there.
And an uninsured motorist is not only somebody who doesn't have an insurance policy, but it may be somebody who has an insurance policy, but they've gotten behind on their payment, and so their insurance has lapsed at the time, and they may have a nice little card in their car that says, here's my insurance, but when you call to verify, they've, gotten behind on their payments, and they're considered uninsured as well.
And look at that. It says 14% of car accidents, 14% are caused by those who don't have insurance.
Yes. It's a really it's a big thing here in California,
And
especially.
so what does that mean? Does that mean that our rates are going to go up?
I
That's
sure
what I
hope
wanna
not.
know.
I sure
So
hope not.
if you get hit by a guy who's not insured, will my rates go up?
No, your rates will not go up. Your rates go up based on your driving record.
Doesn't that
so if
cause the overall rates to go up in the state?
it may take into consideration rates if there's so many uninsured motorists that are out there. It's kind of like if you shop at Target and people steal from there all the time,
Yeah.
then they have to up what they charge you because people are stealing. They have to make up for that.
You have experience in that, Julie?
No.
I'm kidding. Stole something at Target, did you?
No, I did not. But that's what I've heard.
I'm kidding.
But the uninsured motorists are, like I said, it's very big. But the rates to carry uninsured motorists are relatively cheap.
Man.
I mean, really, and I can't give you an example because everything varies so much
Right.
based on who you are in the car you're driving and everything. But they're really not very expensive to carry good uninsured motorist
Okay, the
coverage.
question is, why are there so many uninsured?
People, it's hard times right now.
Can't afford the monthly
Can't afford monthly premiums. Choose not to pay their bills.
And so they're
choose
driving
not
with
to,
cars that are not registered then.
Right. I was reading that a lot of the cars that are involved in uninsured motorist claims are more than 15 years old. So
Yeah.
older cars, I think people think, oh, well, my car's not worth anything. But that has nothing to do with the fact that you may cause some damage to someone else.
Let's put up the other graphic there. 62% of those who are uninsured are male drivers. You know what? That's not a surprise. It really isn't. I don't know if it is to you, but
Well, you always hear the jokes about the women drivers and women drivers can't drive, but it's really, as a in the young group of males are more expensive to insure than females in the
Yeah.
very beginning of it, and it kind of evens itself out as they, the more experience that they have.
But
I
girls
don't-
and teenagers, are they a little more level-headed? Do you
I
think? 'Cause
think
my
that maybe
son
girls
is-
tend to
Go
be a
ahead.
little bit more. Women tend to be a little bit more take care of business.
Yeah.
That I have to do this. This is I can't do that wrong. So we want to make sure we're taking care of ourselves and other people. Really, that's what it is.
And what's really scary about it is my son, who's 12, he's going to be 12 here in like a month or two. He's already talking about driving.
Driving, yes,
4
of
years
course.
from now, he'll be driving. So that's a little scary.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to put up a picture of the staff at Bob Warner, Allstate Insurance Company in Clovis. He's been around since 1975. There's a picture of the staff right there. Why don't you, just from left to right, who are we looking at here, Julie?
Left to right, that Stacy Chaplin, she is our financial specialist. She does annuities, 401ks, retirement planning. The next one is me. Next to me in the blue shirt is Sandra Parker. Marla Warner is Bob's daughter. She is next in line, and then Leslie Roy. And then, of course, Bob right
Bob
down
Warner.
in front. Right,
and of course,
right.
he's been around since 1975.
He has.
Let's go to the next graphic here. Just change it right there. Look at that. Since 1975, began selling insurance inside the old Sears
Yes.
building at Manchester Mall.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. By the way, I want to say the reason that his company is run so efficiently is because he's got women running it.
Right, absolutely. He'll tell you. He will completely agree with you. He tells us how he wants to get done, and then we take care of it.
Including his daughter. There it is, the awards that he's won. He's a great guy, a great contribution, of course, to the community here in the city of Clovis/Fresno. Civic service, look at that. He's got military service, U.S. Air Force, 1960, what is that, 8 to 1972. I need glasses. Clovis Chamber of Commerce, of course, California Chamber of Commerce, and of course, the CSU Fresno Scholarship sponsor. Bob, I didn't know, as well as Harold Cardwell, who was a friend of mine,
Right.
of course, with Allstate Insurance. He died in that plane crash
Yes,
last year.
yes.
But I do know Bob a little bit, but you know much better than I do because you've worked
do.
for him for 9 years.
Yes.
Is he easygoing?
Bob is very easygoing. He is probably the most ethical, respectful man I've ever worked for, known. I mean, he really, truly, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on TV and he'll watch it and, maybe give me a raise. Just kidding. He really, truly is a good man. He's worked hard to get his business to where it's at right now. Our office is the biggest Allstate office in the Fresno Clovis area, and but Bob, used to go door to door, with his pad of paper and get people in, and he's so good at customer service and has passed that down to all of us that he's done well, very well respected.
Yeah.
Very well respected within the Allstate community as well.
He's earned his stripes.
Absolutely.
What has changed, in your opinion, even since you got into the business 9 years ago? And you have a little bit of a media background, too.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah. What's changed about it? Would you say that it's more difficult now to do what Bob did, start from scratch?
Oh, absolutely.
Why?
Well, the economy, first of all.
Okay.
There's a lot of Allstate. Right now, one of the big things, Allstate is not writing homes in the state of California right now. We have 3 companies that we partner with. Great.
You mean new homes? They're not writing new homes?
If you don't have a home with Allstate, right? If you were to come in off the street and say, I want homeowners insurance with Allstate right now in the state of California.
I just bought a house. I want Allstate insurance in California.
We
not
can't
doing it.
No, we don't do it.
Why?
Financial reasons. They back in 2007 decided that if we had a major catastrophe like this Oklahoma thing, if we continue to take on new people, we might not be able to cover everyone to what they needed to be covered at. So they backed out and kind of wanted to take a look to see where they stood, and haven't gotten back into it.
What about rental property? Do they do rental property?
We only type of property we do is condominiums and renters insurance. We do and some commercial properties.
Okay.
But we have 3 companies that we broker through, that we partner with, I should say.
Yeah, you have Tower
Select, Universal North America, and Pacific Specialty Insurance.
Right. Which
All
is McGraw. I think that's
McGraw. Right,
yeah,
is their main heading.
Right.
All
so
A-rated
are
companies.
those offshoots of Allstate or not?
No,
They're separate companies.
Absolutely separate. Right.
They're separate companies.
They just partner with us so that we can provide that service to our customers.
All right, we're going to talk more with Julie Garabo here from Allstate. Bob Warner, Allstate Insurance, been around since 1975. He must be doing something right, because you don't stick around that long and do things wrong. But
right.
Bob Warner, Allstate Insurance, 436-ME-TV is the telephone number here. We're going to talk insurance questions on the other side of the break in a moment.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified, ready, steam equipped, high efficiency Frigidaire affinity place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Frigidaire laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
And we're back here on Connect with Me. We're talking with Julie Garabo of Allstate Insurance, and I want to talk to you just a little bit about the type of coverage that people should have. You had the one caller call in talking about renter's insurance. You probably should have that if you're renting.
Absolutely.
What about your house insurance? If you own a house, what should the general overall coverage be?
Well, you have to have, if you have a mortgage, they require you to have insurance on your home. But that's kind of, to me, that's kind of a no-brainer.
But that's a given. But what should you cover?
Well, things that you might not realize that aren't covered. You're covered for fire. You're covered for wind, for lightning, some water coverages for different things. Theft. The biggest thing is limitations on theft. If someone comes into your house, they break into your house, and you have some jewelry that you don't have specifically scheduled on the policy, most insurance companies have a limitation on that. Anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500.
That's like antique artwork or antique furniture.
Anything, the best thing for you to do to get the best coverage possible is to have information on all of your items that you have. You can specifically add jewelry. You can specifically add coverage for artwork, for breakage, for artwork. And those are really things that some people don't have. They call and they say, well, somebody stole my wedding ring. And then you can see that it's not scheduled on their policy. And so they're going to get up to the limitation of the policy.
Should you also take pictures of
Absolutely. If you can in order to schedule things, typically they need an appraisal and or a receipt from either an art store if you're doing artwork. If you just bought the ring and you have a receipt that shows what the value is, or an appraisal in order to insure it to value. Because then we're going to say, hey, if you specifically schedule on an Allstate homeowner's policy, if you specifically schedule a ring or a piece of jewelry and you lose it, whether you dropped it down the drain and you can't retrieve it, or you went on vacation and you can't find it, we're going to cut you a check for the amount of what your jewelry was.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that specifically scheduled, there's going to be a limitation, and we don't cover mysterious disappearance unless you have it specifically scheduled.
Two questions, a
Yes.
two-part question. Umbrella policy.
Yes.
One, what is it, and should a person have it?
An umbrella policy is an additional liability on top of the liability that you carry on your homeowners. Homeowners comes included with $100,000. You can up that. 300,000, 500,000 covers your liability. An umbrella policy goes above and beyond that. So if you have $300,000 on your homeowners for liability and you have $1 million umbrella policy, now you have $1,300,000 for liability.
And liability means that if somebody comes onto your property, it slips, hits their head, they want
Right.
to sue you.
Right.
Now you're covered.
Right.
Instead of say 20,000 or 500,000, you're covered by over $1 million.
Right.
That's what
right.
that means.
Right. It's additional liability, and an umbrella
Right.
policy covers the auto and the home.
Okay.
It covers both. So if you have a horrific accident where, you know, if somebody gets very severely hurt or somebody dies in an accident.
And is that umbrella policy even more important if you own rental homes?
Yes, absolutely.
Rental
If you own rental properties, you certainly want to protect yourself, because you could be sued for stuff that your renters do.
Yeah. And if you're putting a pool in your house, in your backyard, not in your house. Well, you could put it in your house if you
Right.
wanted. But it's up to you. Is it a good idea? Is it extra protection, do you think? The umbrella policy,
The umbrella
if you have
policy?
a pool?
Oh, absolutely. Because if somebody, you know, California is a very litigious state, and if somebody, you know, if you have your gate locked and you have a sign that says, you know, do not enter, whatever, and a kid or somebody decides to jump over the fence, jump in your pool, and something happens to them, they can still sue you.
Right.
And so
everybody's sue happy nowadays.
Right,
Let's face
right,
it.
right.
I mean, they'll
And-
sue you if they look at you cross-eyed.
Right.
There's no question
Right,
about it.
right,
All right,
right.
let's take a look at one of these commercials. They are called Allstate Mayhem commercials.
Mayhem.
We've all seen them, even during the Super Bowl ads, and I got to tell you, they're quite funny. Here's the one where the guy's driving. He's texting too?
No, he's pretending to be a young teenage girl who just found out that the boy that she likes kissed another girl.
All right,
And so now she's distracted.
All right, let's take a look at this funny Allstate Mayhem commercial.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem, because I like Johnny. Now, I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all, OMG, Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
They are funny ads. That one sends a little bit of a interesting message, though, I must say.
Well, they're all kind of real life situations, and
Yeah, I
that's kind
know.
of how they do them. Yeah,
How'd you
he's
like to
very
be
funny.
that guy's agent?
Oh yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to. That'd be great. He's really very popular.
What's the guy's name?
His name is Dean Winters.
Okay.
His Facebook page has over 1 million likes. People comment on the things that he says. It's amazing how much, how well he's marketed and how much people love him. The young
Right.
kids think he's funny. The older people can kind of get a good laugh out of it as well.
Yeah, it's good marketing.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it's great marketing. Whoever came up with the idea at Allstate
Absolutely.
is a genius. There's no question about it. There are 1 million of those on YouTube. One final thing before we go, because we only got about a minute left, and that is there are so many insurance companies out there to choose from. Why Allstate?
Allstate's been around since 1931, and it's one of I believe it's the largest publicly held insurance company. Our office especially, we're advocates for our clients. We want to make sure that everybody's got the best of what they can possibly get in insurance, and we're there to make sure that you're protected.
But mainly you're doing car insurance now, right? And other types, because you're not doing new home insurance.
No, but we do. Not through Allstate. Our office does,
Right.
yes. But we do, yes. Boats, motorcycles, cars, umbrella policies, all kinds of.
Julie, we're out of time, but it's good to see you.
Thank you, John.
All right,
Thanks for
so
having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and come back again.
Absolutely.
Bring Bob with you next time. will you?
Absolutely,
All
absolutely.
right. Julie Garabo of Allstate Insurance, the Bob Warner Allstate Insurance Company, of course, in Clovis. Tomorrow, Mike Hill, the head coach at Hoover High School. He's the son of Pat Hill. Back tomorrow. Have a great day.